Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a super simple, low-effort practice that has some, well, surprisingly powerful benefits for your body and your mind. It's a tiny little ritual that might just change your whole day. So this whole idea really started with a simple experiment. After a day that was just completely draining, the author tried something with literally zero expectations, just putting their legs up against the wall. And what happened next was, as they put it, a surprising unknitting of tension, a really profound sense of calm that just stuck around for hours. And that one little action sparked a pretty fascinating question. We're always told that real change takes this huge effort, but what if just 10 minutes, doing pretty much nothing, could genuinely turn your day around? All right, section 1, a surprisingly simple reset. So let's dive right into the mechanics of this pose and figure out exactly why it works so well. Okay, so the practice is called legs up the wall, and yeah, the name pretty much tells you everything you need to know. You lie on your back, you rest your legs up against a wall. And that's really the beauty of it. It is so accessible. You don't need any special skills, you don't need to be super flexible. All you need is you and a little bit of floor space. And here's where it gets really interesting. The potential benefits are incredibly diverse. We're not talking about just one little thing. This simple posture can help with physical stuff, like reducing swelling in your legs after a long day, and it can deliver mental benefits, like calming your whole nervous system down before you go to sleep. It's just a crazy versatile tool for all the stresses of modern life. Okay, section 2, how this pose works. So this brings us to the big question, right? How is this one thing so effective? Well, just like the title says, it's simple science, not magic. There's some really basic physiology at play here. It really just boils down to physics and biology. By getting your legs up in the air, you're giving your circulatory system a much-needed break from the pull of gravity. And at the exact same time, the position gently signals your body to shift out of that fight or flight mode and into its rest and digest mode. That actively lowers your stress levels. So it's kind of like a physical reset that ends up triggering a mental one. Section 3, your 10-minute daily ritual. Okay, so enough of the how. Let's get practical with a blueprint for how you can build this into your own day. Getting into the pose is so simple. The key is this kind of scoot and swing motion. You sit sideways right up against the wall, then you swing your legs up as you roll down onto your back. And hey, don't worry about getting perfectly flush with the wall. A few inches away is totally fine. Comfort is the #1 goal here. So what do you actually do for those 10 minutes? Well, this little routine transforms it from just waiting around into an active, mindful pause. It guides you from focusing on your breath to doing a gentle body scan, and then finally into just a few moments of pure stillness. Think of it as a mini meditation, just without any of the pressure. All right, section 4, making the habit stick. Because look, doing this once is great, but like with anything, consistency is where the magic really happens. So how do you turn this into a habit that actually lasts? The trick is to make it almost effortless. You want to anchor the habit by tying it to something you already do every single day, maybe right after you get home from work. And remember to start small. Seriously, 5 minutes a day is so much more powerful than doing 30 minutes once a week, because it's building the foundation for a real ritual. Of course, you might run into a couple of little hitches, and that's totally normal. If your feet start to tingle, just scoot back from the wall a little. If your lower back feels a bit strained, a folded blanket right under your hips can make a world of difference. These simple tweaks just make sure the pose is working for your body. So this brings up a really common question, and it's an important one to be clear on. Is this a substitute for exercise? And the answer is a big, clear no. Think of this as a tool for recovery and for balance. It's what you do to support your active life. It helps you recover faster from workouts, manage stress, and just unwind. It's a complement, not a replacement. Section 5, safety and modifications. And finally, and this is super important, like any physical practice, you have to listen to your body and know when to be a little cautious. As this checklist shows, there are a few conditions, things like uncontrolled high blood pressure or glaucoma, where this pose might not be the best idea. The takeaway here is really simple. If you have any significant health concerns, especially anything to do with circulation, just have a quick chat with your doctor first. Safety first, always. And this really gets to the heart of the whole matter. We have this idea that helpful habits have to be hard, but as the quote says, sometimes the most useful things we can do are quiet and small. Profound changes don't always come from these big, dramatic actions. They come from the simple, consistent things we do for ourselves. This simple pose is the perfect proof that you don't need a ton of time or a ton of effort to have a really positive impact on your well-being. So we'll leave you with this to think about. What tiny, quiet ritual will you start today?